Gentlemen, grab a glass of single malt, cause today we will talk about the bad guy director. Before we dive into technical and creative aspects, I would love to share 5 common facts about his filmmaking style. Guy Ritchie's directing style represents the mix of Scorsese and Tarantino, and he doesn't hide that influence.
You can only get smarter by playing a smarter opponent.
Notably, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, and Reservoir Dogs shape his initial directing voice and vision. Dialogues, music, cinematography, storytelling techniques, there are plenty of commonalities between Guy and those directors. But Guy knew it won't be an excellent decision for his career to fully copy Tarantino's or Scorsese's approach to filmmaking. So, he modified and rebalanced pre-existing directing techniques and created an entirely new style, Guy Ritchie's style. For instance, in some scenes, Guy pushes harder than Scorsese. In other scenes, he's more gentle than Tarantino.
Smart as a pair of little boy's shoes.
One of the most critical findings in Guy Ritchie's movies is stylized violence, where violence combined with dark humor or black comedy. While Tarantino shows pure visual violence without mercy, Guy Ritchie hides that.
Mommy, I'm home. Hey, baby.
Instead, he generates connotation of violence through offensive dialogues, B-roll shots, and sound design. In other words, he tries to avoid strangulating the viewer's experience and doesn't copy the other director's handwriting.
I think that's quite enough. You're a doctor after all.
Guy learned he had to create balance or add something new in the crime genre to compete with existing titans. And in order to do so, he understood one simple rule.
If you change the rules on what controls you,
you will change the rules on what you can control.
Guy Ritchie designed his films around the man. Speaking of that, he mainly represents the 2 archetypes of man's nature to the viewer, alpha and sigma. He passionately uncovers the intrinsic qualities of those archetypes and mixes them with each other, like alpha and alpha, sigma and sigma, alpha and sigma. But what is astonishing is how the director illustrates those characters' positive and negative worlds. Guy uses philosophy and satire to answer the most vital question in man's life.
Why should a man do what he doesn't like to do?
And the tool that helps him to do so well on screen is voice-over. Thoughts, concerns, the fight against intrinsic demons, and even fears.
Fear is the more infectious condition.
Today, we know Guy Ritchie as a featured movie director, but before, he was a music video director. That is why all his movies are heavily loaded with musical cues. It looks like he runs his favorite playlist from Spotify. On the other hand, the cameo of famous musicians Sting, Madonna, Andre 2000, he still makes scenes that look like music videos, and that's totally fine. That is his voice. Famous musician in the movie always attracts interest from the audience. Add the face to the trailer and the audience is already interested. More interest, more money, which means
Nobody kills a man
That's gonna make him money.
Stylized titles are another signature look of Guy Ritchie's movies. An artistically designed title brings some intro-information to the current story or creates a vibe or atmosphere, while his titles creatively support the narration, the split screen. Up to Millennium, Guy made bad boys movies. Then he took 5 years of rest from directing to improve his writing and directing styles. The competition in the cinema market increased at that time, so professional vacation was the correct decision. Otherwise,
And you think you're smart. And you are. Just not as smart as you think you are.
since 2005, Guy Ritchie has stopped making bad boys movies. Why? He made bad man movies. Nonlinear narration is the critical point in Guy Ritchie's storytelling process. This technique, what's the purpose of nonlinear narration? Of course, engage the audience. It's like a puzzle you need to assemble. A little brainstorming and a competent climax, and the viewer is happier than ever. Visually, nonlinear narration can be presented in a variety of techniques. For instance, 2 or more parallel cut scenes running in real time, or variety of characters' perspectives on specific issue, also called the Rashomon effect, or characters finally to design the chain of thought processes in the character's mind. Guy Ritchie seriously approaches the writing process, as well as the dialogues. Apparently, this quality came up from Tarantino's influence.
I must say, damn good stuff, sir.
But Guy Ritchie's dialogue stands out too. And here is why. In 2005, Guy changed the style of narration. Dialogues remained fast-paced and wittier, but gained higher intelligence, philosophy, and satire.
Have you actually read the book?
I found it compelling.
I take that as a compliment.
Chess and cards have a message effect more than meant to be men's games. While chess is associated with intellect, strategy, and mind games, cards make turn points and they carry high stakes message the same way as a Russian roulette. Audience wants action, and bare knuckle boxing is one of those tools to engage the viewer. Finally, the handheld camera, slow motion, sound design, and quick cuts bring these show to the next level. A characteristical feature of Guy Ritchie movies is an inventive shot composition, or ISC. ISC is to create a striking visual experience for the viewer and to enhance the creativity of storytelling. Guy doesn't move camera like other directors. Still, his favorite camera movement, push in or out, is presented almost in all his famous movies. Alternatively, he can zoom in and out for drastic or shocking effect. The most critical finding in Guy Ritchie's films is dynamic. These can be achieved with 2 techniques. First, fast-paced or quick cuts. This approach helps deliver enormous amounts of information quickly and drives viewer engagement and attention span. To create quick cuts, you must have a storyboard. In other words, you see this sequence of shots before editing. The storyboard provides all information about composition, shot size, camera angle, and focal length, so it's easy to assemble a sequence in the post. Second is a speed ramp. The slow or fast motion effects enhance the moment and have a powerful aesthetics. In other words, it looks incredible. Of course, Guy applies these techniques carefully, otherwise it will be weird to use them often. Music is 50% of the movie. In Guy Ritchie's movies, it has colossal emotional power and supports the storytelling process. He doesn't only see the scene, he also hears it.
You listen, the sweeter the pitch.
Guy skillfully applies empathetic and unempathetic musical cues to the scene. The last one, by the way, is one of the Tarantino's visiting cards. Another weapon in Guy Ritchie's hands is sound design. This part of his filmmaking technique is crucial, especially if he wants to impress the audience with creative or slow-mo montages.
First point of attack. 2. Throat, paralyzed vocal cords, stop screaming. 3. Got to be heavy drinker, floating rib, deliver. 4. Finally, dragging left leg, fist to patella.
When the sound design turns on, the music goes off. Why? If you load sound design with the music, it can create mod effect, which can ruin the movie. More is needed to make a movie like Guy Ritchie. But first of all, you have to be a psychologist. Be able to dig deeper into the darkest prickles of his characters. Second, you have to be a person with a solid life experience. And 3, you must be British.